Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. There has been massive devastation in Punjab due to the recent floods, and the army has been called in at various locations. Alongside, the administration is also on high alert. However, despite all of this, many rural areas, especially those near rivers, have already fallen victim to the floods. I will share the details of this situation with you. In addition, after Imran Khan's strong tweets, PTI has carried out certain activities, and I will share those with you too. Moreover, today, Uzma Bukhari has made another controversial statement which has drawn severe criticism, and rightfully so. She said something truly disgraceful. So, all of these issues are part of today's vlog. I request you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's start with the flood situation. Since last night, videos started circulating, giving us an idea that this morning would be more dangerous because the floodwaters, especially from the Chenab, Ravi and Sutlej rivers, were heading towards different areas of Punjab. These were massive and terrifying flood surges, with extreme pressure. And there were concerns that the embankments at various locations might break, causing more rural areas to be submerged. And that's exactly what happened. Many areas and towns were flooded due to heavy rain. In rural areas, especially in Kasur, Hafizabad and other such places, the floods wreaked havoc. Many crops were destroyed, livestock washed away, and mud houses were also swept away. The scenes were extremely heartbreaking. The situation at the Gurudwara too was horrific, as the entire Kartarpur corridor building was submerged in water, and the roads leading to it were also completely underwater. This situation hasn't stopped yet. The floodwaters are still advancing, and at many locations high levels of floods continue. Currently, all three rivers are fully swollen, and the embankments breaking around them are causing water to flow into various regions. So we are seeing a truly frightening situation in Punjab due to the floods. Many damages have been reported, but I'm waiting for the official announcements to get a clear idea of what exactly the losses are, and God forbid if there are any casualties. But this situation is extremely distressing. And here the question arises that when floods were hitting Kashmir, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan and some areas of Sindh, it was expected that Punjab would also be affected. Then, to make things worse, India opened the floodgates and released a large amount of water towards Pakistan. This has become India's method. When there is a water shortage, they block Pakistan's water, and when there is excess floodwater, they release it, sending the floodwaters towards Pakistan, causing the villages to be submerged. Obviously, India is doing this to maximize the damage to Pakistan, but the question is, where is our preparation? Why didn't we take precautions for such situations? Why aren't we making the necessary arrangements? Now, when this flood situation reached Punjab, it wasn't something unexpected. Predictions had been made for many days, and several institutions and public representatives had warned that these floods would come towards this region. Measures should have been taken, and areas near rivers should have been evacuated. Most of these areas are already home to poor people, and if everything is swept away in the flood, these people lose all their savings. But there was no response. The entire Punjab government, including Mariam Nawaz and her family, was on a sightseeing tour in Japan. No one was even aware of what was happening back home. It was a critical time when strategic actions could have been taken to manage the situation. But at that time, Mariam Nawaz and her entire family, along with their entourage, were on a pleasure trip, and no one seemed concerned about the floods. Now, Uzma Bukhari is speaking up, but she should have been there in Punjab helping the people, but instead, the focus is on defending Mariam Nawaz. How did she endure criticism for so long? Why didn't this criticism reach her? Why did she focus on answering allegations when people were suffering in Punjab? This is what I fail to understand. At this critical time, she should have focused on responding to the concerns related to the flood situation, but instead her attention is solely on defending Mariam Nawaz. Now, when it comes to the government expenses, they claim that they paid everything from their personal pockets. This has been their excuse for years. No matter what criticism is raised, they always say that they spent out of their own money, not the taxpayers. But then I ask, where does the money for all the lavish arrangements come from? From where do they get the funds for the cars, security, protocol, and the luxurious way they travel? And when they travel using taxpayer money for all their expenses, they come back and claim they spent nothing from the government funds. They should show proof if this is really true. Show us the receipts, show us the accounts. If you say you paid out of your pocket, then show the evidence. Also, when people criticize Maryam Nawaz's expensive shoes, handbags and dresses, they argue that it's irrelevant. But we must understand that when public figures like her go out wearing such expensive clothes, people will naturally compare her lifestyle with their own. If you're claiming simplicity for the public while wearing luxurious outfits, people will question your credibility. If you claim that the country is going through a crisis and that we should live simply, then you too need to live simply. The optics matter. If the government leaders are dressing in expensive clothes and shoes while claiming to be with the people, it only adds to the frustration of the public. You can't just dismiss it as irrelevant when the people you represent are struggling to make ends meet. The comparison is inevitable. In the end, this whole show is just a game of misdirection. They speak about simplicity while enjoying lavishness, and when questioned, they simply say, "We paid from our own funds." But until they provide the proof, these claims will remain hollow. Remember, you will be questioned and criticized, and you will have to tolerate it. Who are you to say that no one can criticize you? Where did you people come from? If you have come, then it's because you were actually placed there. We are the ones being subjected to this. Because people didn't vote for you, they didn't come to you. But now that you're sitting there, keep this in mind, lower your pride a little. You should know that when you're sitting in these chairs, people will ask you questions and criticize you. They will also demand answers like, "Sir, these expenses being made, where are they coming from? And how are they being spent?" If you're spending from personal funds, then show all the details, including payments from accounts and so on. You can't behave with people as though no one is allowed to question you. This isn't some royal family or a monarchy where no one can ask who's doing what, why or how. The most despicable remark today was from Uzma Bukhari, who said, "People are criticizing Maryam's clothes while their mothers don't even consider wearing clothes suitable." Can you imagine? What kind of talk is that? Are you a third-class troll or a theatre performer using such despicable language for others? You are a provincial minister. Your choice of words, especially in anger, should be different from that of a third-class worker. You can't speak to people on that level. We're not saying that all criticism is correct. Sometimes people do make cheap remarks about Maryam Nawaz's clothes or about someone else's appearance. That's something we condemn too, as it's at the troll level. But you're sitting in official positions. Your mental capacity should be much higher than that. Why do you need to engage in the same dirty talk? You also said some low-level things about people's mothers. Everyone has a mother. We all share this in common. If you have nothing else to say, you start talking about someone's wife or clothes, or how their mother doesn't think it's proper to wear clothes. Is there no shame or dignity in you? You're in a position of power. You bring up women in these conversations, accusing others. Why do you use such language when you're on television? A little modesty is required. And what is the opportunity now? The flood has arrived in the province, and here you are, sitting, settling scores with critics. How dare they criticize Maryam Nawaz? Expect more criticism, madam. Keep your composure and courage. If you're sitting on these chairs, remember that criticism will come and questions will be raised, and lower the level of your anger. This anger is not appropriate for servants of the people. Public servants should work humbly and respectfully. They should respond to criticism with a calm demeanour, saying, "This criticism is wrong and here's why." This is not about reacting angrily and starting to talk about people's mothers and sisters, then claiming you're great. By the way, maybe this is why Imran Khan said that some of them are illiterate and don't even try to gain knowledge. Whenever these women open their mouths or hold press conferences, they end up opening the door for more criticism, becoming a target for everyone. Returning to the flood situation, Military assistance is being called in from different provinces to help people, but this isn't something new or the last time this will happen. This will continue. It requires long-term planning, but the sad part is there was one person among all the leaders who talked about this. He said, build dams, store water. This is the water crisis we always face. The water that's now a curse could have been beneficial if there were dams to store it. He was also the one who said, plant billion trees. He was the one who spoke about the environment and saving nature. Climate change is going to be the biggest challenge in the coming years. But back then, people thought it was nonsense. He was the only one who saw this coming. He knew how disastrous climate change could be. He spoke about building dams and planting trees to combat it. He was the one who suggested creating new cities to manage urban spread and reduce pressure on existing ones. But now look at the situation. Illegal housing societies have been granted knocks in the wrong places, and where rivers were once flowing, society is now sprawling. The rivers have to reclaim their space. Now you see the result of it all. The one who cared about these things is in jail, while the ones who issued these illegal knocks are sitting comfortably in power. This is what it comes down to. Those in power prefer ignorant people. So what else can we do? Anyway, after Imran Khan's tough tweets and messages today, some actions have started to be taken. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, has submitted resignations from various committees of the National Assembly. Their members resigned, and this process was carried out swiftly. Along with this, late last night, a meeting of their political committee was held where they discussed the upcoming by-elections. It was decided that under Imran Khan's guidance, they will not participate in the by-elections except in constituencies that have been vacated due to death, such as the seat of Mian Azhar's late father. This decision is significant. Some people believe PTI should participate in the by-elections, but Imran Khan feels that doing so would legitimize this system, which is why he's refraining. However, I believe Imran Khan's focus is not on this system at all. He's not interested in saving or becoming part of it. He's already getting people to resign from the standing committees, and this issue will continue. It's not something that will stop here. It's going to accelerate, and eventually PTI members from all assemblies will resign. A major crisis could develop from this. As for the by-elections, everyone knows that Form 47 is already prepared. What's the point of participating in elections where no real result will come? In the end, it's all about avoiding unnecessary crises. Meanwhile, Amin Gandapur, who was instructed by Imran Khan to take action and try meeting him, went to the Supreme Court and filed a request for permission to meet Imran Khan, as he wasn't able to. But news came that the Supreme Court rejected his request and sent it back. Now, what's interesting is that people are being fooled. Amin Gandapur, instead of taking independent action, waited for Imran Khan's message. If he had really wanted to meet, we would have seen efforts from him already. But now, when Imran Khan gives a command, Amin goes and files the petition. Of course, the court will reject it, and then Amin can claim, "I tried, but the court wouldn't allow it." You can see the entire game being played here. Many people ask why Imran Khan doesn't just expel Amin. But remember, not all decisions are made immediately. Imran Khan understands that some decisions take time, and he might have a strategy in mind. If Imran Khan had made an immediate decision to expel him, it would have caused a bigger crisis, especially in KP. But now he's waiting for the right time. For now, we see him carefully managing the situation, but things are developing rapidly. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.